sea lion, lord of the seas, ruler of the roofs, conqueror of the kitchens. Oh yeah, you know me. Guess what? Guess what? I think we finally have a verdict. We finally have a verdict on stinky old Diddy. That's right. I believe they have come to a decision about Mr. P. Diddler and what's gonna happen to him. Ooh-wee. Boy, is he in a mess of troubles. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yep. From what I can see, we have some news about the P. Diddy trial. But let's see. I think we're gonna do a little rundown on what's been going on in the trial. Just an idea, just give you an idea on what he had done. So I think we're gonna start with good old criminal lawyer reacts. Yes, sir. We're gonna start with this. His name is Bruce Rivers. He is amazing. I love his content. He is a very great content creator and a wonderful, loving father, and just a great man in general. Like I love this guy's channel. Like, I love him. He's probably my favorite content creator, to tell you the truth. He's just a really good person. And it's really sad what happened to his son, because his son is who helped start his channel, and his son suffered with addiction and depression, and he was a super talented young man who lost his life way too soon because of drugs and alcohol, and it's just terrible. It's terrible. But so give this guy a like and a subscribe, because I promise if you guys like me, you guys will love him. He's amazing. So let's get a quick recap on what's been going on in the Diddy trial.
Hi, this is Bruce Rivers. This just in, we just got done filming a Diddy video about the jurors and the questions, and where you can see what their mind is. And as we were filming it, we got the news that the jurors have come to a decision on 4 of the 5 counts. Now keep in mind, there's a racketeering count, and there's 2 sex trafficking counts, and 2 transportation for prostitution across state lines counts.
This is the last night video.
The sex trafficking counts are like 15 years. So
yeah.
Even if they acquit on the RICO, if they find him guilty on any one of the...
So, for the racketeering and the sex trafficking, for either one of those, Diddy would end up getting, if he just gets one of those, 15 years in prison. Okay. If they can get him on that. Yeah, so that's a decent amount of time. But then again, if, say, racketeering is the only thing that he gets charged with, there is a possibility that because of his money and influence and the shit that he has on politicians such as Donald Trump and the Obamas and Biden, the Clintons, he will probably end up with time served, even though he only spent a few months in jail. So keep that in mind. Depending on what he gets, if it's low enough, he may end up with time served. Okay? Yeah. He may, if he does do prison, he will probably only do a few years in a really nice, cushy jail. Prison, because he's in jail right now. How it works, for people not knowing about jail and prison, how it works, you get arrested, you go to jail, and then you sit in jail until you have your due process, which is when you go to court, and then they give you the verdict of if you're guilty or not. And if you're guilty, you get sentenced to a certain amount of time in prison. Okay? Now, because of who Diddy is, if he does go to prison, he will most likely go to a very nice prison. Like the one like Martha Stewart went to. From what I remember, she went to a prison that was almost like a little resort. Even when Epstein, when he originally went to the jail that Diddy is in, not a lot of people know this, Epstein went to jail multiple times for the shit he was doing. And the first time that they put him in jail, they closed off, like they gave him an entire wing to himself. He had a whole wing to the jail to himself, and they let him come and go as he pleased. But then the second time that he ended up going was when they were going to do all the stuff about the sex trafficking. And he was in the one Diddy's in right now. And that's where Epstein hung himself. But I feel like the first time he was still in that same jail. I don't know. But yeah, there's a lot on that shit. Yeah. But so, point is, Diddy, if he does get convicted, there's a possibility he will end up in a very cushy jail, a very cushy prison. And there's also a possibility that he may not even go to prison. We'll see what happens.
Other offenses, it could be 10 or 15 years. There's a 15-year mandatory minimum on the sex trafficking charges. But we don't know. So what happened late this afternoon is we got news that
this was yesterday.
Jurors have made a decision on 4 of the 5 counts that they are deadlocked on the RICO count. When you look at the rest of this video
about
and hear the questions that they've asked, keep those.
Which is if what he's doing is a criminal enterprise type deal.
Mind when you analyze all the news coverage that you're going to get between now and tomorrow. My guess is we're going to get a verdict tomorrow. So what happened
is today.
Was, the jurors came back with a note saying they've made a decision on 4 of the 5 counts, but they're deadlocked on this other one. In other words, we have unpersuadable minds on both sides of the aisle. So some people think he's guilty, some people think he's not.
So today they have a verdict.
It could be.
Let's see. Let's see. So today. Oh. Today, who do I want to react to? P. Diddy. I believe Moist Critical, Charlie, Penguin Zero. Yes. Here we go. He has a video.
We're gonna go all in.
I also love Charlie, this guy. Penguin Zero, Moist Critical. Please like and subscribe to his video. To his channel. Please. Also like and subscribe to me. But these guys definitely deserve you to watch their channel and like and subscribe to them.
What an infuriating and sad day. I guess all the baby oil paid off for P. Diddy because he was too slippery for the justice system. I cannot believe it. They have now reached a verdict on all the charges, and he has been acquitted of the most serious ones. The Lord of Lube wiggles his way out.
That's crazy. So, he's been acquitted of the most serious charges. So like I was saying, that's terrible. Like I was saying, he may not even spend time in prison. And if he does, because he may end up having to do some time, if he does do time in prison, it will be a better time, an easier time than most of us have right here in the free world. He will be living a very cushy, nice life in prison. At least nicer than most of us have in the free world. Probably be allowed to do whatever the fuck he wants. Like Epstein was, the first time that he was arrested and sentenced to time. So I think that's what it was. He did end up doing prison. It was either jail or prison. I can't remember now.
Somehow, despite overwhelming evidence to support the allegations against P. Diddy about the decades worth of
overwhelming evidence. Problem is, Diddy had evidence against the Clintons, Joe Biden, the Biden family, the boys, sons. He had evidence, videos on Obama, supposedly. And you better believe, just like he was on the Epstein list, he would be on the Diddy list too. Trump, also part of this shit. You better believe it. Trump is not this great guy like y'all think he is. He was on the Epstein list, and that's why. Think about this. Trump's talking about releasing the Epstein list. Why don't you think they've done it? They're never going to release that list because they're not only was he, but Biden was on it, and there's too many names on it of way high up people in Congress, powerful people. Those lists will never be released. This shit in Hollywood and in Congress and in the White House, these people are going to keep doing this. They're going to keep doing it. There's too many of them. There's too much money. It's horrible. It's terrible. And unless there's this huge uprising of all of us and go against our government, it's never going to change. It's never going to stop. It's always going to be like this. Our celebrities and our politicians, all of them are all going to continue doing what they want to us, to our children, to our loved ones. And it's just the way life is. It's terrible. It sucks, man. You can't do nothing about it.
Evil, criminal activities and actions he has done, terrorizing the music industry and so many individuals. It seems like the dawn of dildos is about to get away with a slap on the wrist. And maybe not even that much. He's been found guilty on 2 of the lesser charges, which could carry a maximum of 20 years in prison.
He won't do it.
But I've completely lost faith in the system here. I have to imagine this is all just now horseradish and barnacles. I think he will probably just get away with like 6 months probation or some shit.
5 counts. We have a mixed verdict here. Again, count 1 as it relates to racketeering, not guilty. Count
Look at this
2,
goober.
as it relates to sex trafficking, not guilty. Count 3, guilty. Count 4, not guilty. Count 5.
Man,
Make your
stupid.
dog a clutter
God
dog.
damn. Sorry about the ads.
Guilty.
Those 2 counts he was found guilty on, that was like Weenie Hut Jr. level charges compared to the rest, and it's something the defense, I imagine, was extremely pleased to have been found guilty on versus the rest. They were so happy, in fact, that reportedly P. Diddy even stood up and started clapping.
Wow.
Like,
Oh my god, I would be so pissed. I would be so fucking pissed. Man.
a Tumblr fanfic. He stood up, started clapping, and then like his friends and family erupted into applause.
No!
Now the judge is considering what bail should be, and we move on to the next stage, which will be the sentencing for these 2 charges, which carry a maximum of 10 years each. He's not going to be seeing the maximum. He probably won't even be seeing the minimum. They might just let him walk away with being forced to play League of Legends solo queue for like 2 months or something, and that's his punishment. It is such a fucking
It's not
joke
funny,
what just
man.
happened here. I actually still can't believe it. It is sickening. So I truly wouldn't be surprised if he just fully walks free from this, and I guess we can expect the grand reopening of Puffy Flavor Camp. Everyone out there, sleep in fear. Make sure you're sleeping on your back, because if you sleep on your stomach, P. Diddy might just break into your house and
Yeah, it's hard to even laugh at, you know? Like he's not even making that many jokes about this. You feel me? Like it's terrible, bro.
middle of the night and shove a dildo up your ass. It is still just so fucking unbelievable to me. I thought this was dead to rights. Not only because of the overwhelming evidence, but also his team wasn't exactly a cohesive unit. Like, not that long ago, one of his big lawyers quit, saying he could no longer, under any circumstances, represent him, serve as a member of his company.
Now, what I heard about that is there's supposed to be more to it, to the story. Like, I heard there was some even more foul shit that the dude did, and I'm surprised it didn't. I can't believe it didn't get brought up in court. Like they were saying some shit like he did some like necrophilia type shit, like some necrophilia or cannibalism type shit, but I don't know. That was also just speculation. So,
and somehow they were still able to squeak a win out from between P. Diddy's greased butt cheeks here. I don't know. Did they promise like freak off invitations to the jury? I have no clue. I don't get it. I really, truly do not understand how this just happened.
It's a mixed verdict, but it is a stunning victory for the defense. The Mann Act, these charges, these were the easiest for prosecutors to prove, the lowest hanging fruit. Merely required showing that state lines were crossed for the purpose to engage in prostitution. We saw a lot
transportation to
of
engage
evidence on these charges. Did not have that element, Laura, of force, fraud, or coercion.
So he was guilty of transportation to engage in prostitution. Wow. So not sex trafficking by force, not coercion. Not racketeering conspiracy. How? Hold on. Because racketeering is saying that he had a criminal enterprise, right? That's like he was using his businesses to. What is racketeering conspiracy? Racketeering conspiracy is an agreement between two or more people to participate in criminal enterprise through a pattern of racketeering activity, which involves committing multiple related criminal acts over time. So that's bullshit, though, because he was using his businesses to commit crimes. Prostitution is a crime in most states. He had to use his business money to pay for the prostitutes. So that's racketeering. He had to use his business's money to pay for drugs. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me.
And this carries the lightest sentence of these charges. It is a maximum of 10 years. And
he won't do 10
when
years.
You're talking about maximums.
He won't do any time.
Aren't the rule. They are the exception. They're for the most exceptional and severe cases. So now you're talking about a sentence that's potentially in the lower range with time served because he's been behind bars.
Yeah, again, he's definitely not seeing the maximum penalty for those charges.
Yeah.
I would be surprised if
I agree with
saw
Charlie,
the minimum.
100%.
My guess would be, and of course I haven't passed the bar, so this is just fucking Neanderthal spitballing. My guess would be they'll weigh the time served behind bars throughout this case as like you've learned your lesson, and wiggle their finger. Don't do it again.
That's exactly what I think.
Really light punishment.
Yep.
Very, very light sentencing. And then when he's out on bail or full-blown walks free, I imagine baby oil will go extinct. And I predict that there will be a freak-off the likes of which the cosmos has never seen. It'll be filled with so much... It really is.
The fact that these sex trafficking charges, specifically with respect to Cassie Ventura, means that the jury was convinced by the defense, at least with respect to reasonable doubt, that the commercial sex, i.e. the freak-offs, were not connected to some of this violence, that there was not that force, fraud, or coercion element. That is, by far, from a penalty perspective, the most serious. It carried a 15-year minimum. So that is a huge distinction.
That's terrible. Again, sorry for the ads. I cannot afford YouTube Plus.
Really feels like if you've got enough money, somehow a lot of those very serious, very well-documented things just never really seem to stick in court for some reason. It's so weird how that works. It's so odd how we see that happen so many times. I don't know. So something seems a bit fishy there. From everything I've seen from a couple of lawyers discussing it, the big thing here seems that the RICO charges weren't conveyed well enough for the jury to understand, and that it could have been like difficult in the first place as a potential overcharging on P. Diddy, so that was like an uphill battle. So obviously I don't understand all the nuance to how that shit works in court, like how it all shakes down, the fucking Rube Goldberg machine that is arguing RICO charges. I'm not Saul Goodman. But outside of that, the lawyers also expressed how stunned they were that he was found not guilty on the sex trafficking by force and coercion. It seems like, at least from the lawyers that I've read and watched from, they were also very surprised that somehow the jury wasn't convinced on those. That one really did seem like a pretty big slam dunk in the case. Like, at least most sane human beings would think so, but somehow it didn't stick. Somehow it didn't shake out that way.
That's what the Ace. That's what the jury and the judge agree upon. They agree that he
celebrating.
He's not guilty.
Is free and saying he should go as far as suing the government for the charges they brought against him. Unironically, I saw someone donate saying, does P. Diddy have a case against the government to sue them for this?
Oh.
Holy...
That's fucked up. That's crazy. People are so stupid. That's it's ridiculous how dumb the world is. That not only would our justice system consider somebody like this with all the evidence against him, proof against him, as an innocent man, that society is so blind to everything and so dumb that they believe that everything against him is just hearsay and false. That's crazy. Oh, you're glad that they proved his innocence? Yeah, oh yeah. That's crazy. I'm just gonna assume that that's a joke because they're anybody who sincerely is happy about this verdict is probably a pedophile or a woman beater. You know, people that believe that Diddy deserves to get off for this shit probably like beating women and probably like raping and fucking children.
Shit. What? I don't know how so many people have been poisoned by stupidity. Like an action, there must be some kind of hole in the ozone layer that's letting pure concentrated stupid come through, and it is just destroying neurons at an alarming rate. Such an unfortunate outcome. There's a lot of people that are now going to need to be looking over their shoulder here with this P. Diddy verdict. One of them being a bodyguard who said if P. Diddy walks, he's going to need to go into hiding. I think that's not an exaggeration. He most likely will, in order to stay alive. This is a dangerous man with an extremely well-recorded history of horrible shit he has done, who is now getting let off very easily here. Now, if you're a sane, sensible person, you're probably pretty angered by the outcome, but we don't live in a world where everyone's sane and sensible. There is a not small group of people, the Free Diddy drones, that are very, very pleased. They're very excited that
because they're
Diddy
stupid.
Is going to be
they don't know
most
better.
Likely
they don't know better.
Super,
Either they don't know better, or
they are elated right now. These fucking weirdos
are disgusting.
They're part
like
of the
Diddy.
crew, part of the ship. Like they'll get the invite to the next freak off, and they are so happy. Fucking weirdos out there. It's crazy how anyone can view this as anything other than a disaster, a fucking travesty, where the justice system just failed so many people. Yeah, I'll stop ranting and raving about it. That's really about it. So,
yeah, that's it's just ridiculous, bro.
That Sean Diddy Combs was looking at potentially spending the rest of his life in prison, but he was acquitted of the charges. He said, Mr. Combs has been given his life by this jury. That's what Diddy's lawyer said as a quote. He said that it would be nothing short of a fool. He would be nothing short of a fool if he violated any conditions set by the court if he was released. This is a quote. He said, he treasures, I assure you, the opportunity that he has been given, and he will not run afoul of anything this court imposes on him. So, that's what Diddy's lawyer said. And obviously the judge is not going to believe that because the day that Diddy was arrested.
That's crazy.
P. Diddy is not guilty.
We're both dealing with a lot of guilt right now.
P. Diddy is not guilty. At least on 3 or 5 charges. He might not spend any time in
Subscribe to this channel also. Like
That
this
might
channel.
happen, y'all. Stephen A. Smith Show in the house, special edition. Let's go. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the latest edition of the Stephen A. Smith Show, coming at you, usually at the very least 3 times a week over the digital airways of YouTube. Having said all of that, forget all of that, because that don't matter today. Today is a special edition, and I'm getting right into it. Let's get started. P. Diddy was found not guilty on 3 of those charges. The Diddy sex trafficking trial verdict is in. Jurors in Sean Diddy Combs' federal criminal trial acquitted him of the most serious charges, racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking, but found him guilty on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. Combs could receive a prison sentence of up to 20 years. The maximum is 10 for each.
He ain't gonna do any time in prison. He ain't gonna do any time in prison. Oh. That's fucked up. That's a fucked up world, man. And what's even more fucked up is there's people I don't even it's just it's disturbing, man. But I knew this was gonna happen. I knew they I mean, cause if they did lock him up, they would also have to he would raise hell. He'd be making sure that everybody know. He'd be saying names of Trump and Biden and everybody else He'd be making sure word gets out. He'd be making sure videotapes and recordings of people like Trump and Biden would be getting out, and they can't have him locked up, because if he gets locked up, then that shit's gonna get released.
Each of the transportation counts. If he had been convicted of any of the other counts, the 55-year-old could have faced life imprisonment. The defense has asked that Combs be released while he awaits sentencing instead. A request the prosecution opposed, of course. The judge said he'll make a decision after the sides submit letters at 1 p.m. Eastern Time earlier today. At the time of this taping, we were still awaiting a decision from the judge as to whether or not P. Diddy would be let out on bail. After the verdict, Combs faced the courtroom gallery and clapped, and his family and friends erupted in applause. Ladies and gentlemen, to a lot of you, this was a shock. As this trial unfolded, I can't sit up here and say to you today that it's a shock. Because time and time again, we repeatedly asked on this show, where is the case for sex trafficking being made? Where is the case for racketeering and those RICO charges? Where is that being made? And the jury spoke earlier today and said it wasn't made. Not enough to our satisfaction. And as a result, we are going to let him out. What exactly did they let him out on? Let's go over that again. Count 1, racketeering conspiracy. Up to life in prison. That was the penalty. P. Diddy was found not guilty. Count number 2, sex trafficking of Cassie Ventura, his former girlfriend, that we saw him on video hitting and kicking. That drew a minimum of 15 years and a maximum of life imprisonment if convicted. He was found not guilty. Count number 4, sex trafficking of Jane, the Jane Doe, another ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, it's a fucked up world, man. Got a bunch of people that we fucking normalize and celebrate murderers and pedophiles. Like that's what our society loves. For some reason society loves murderers and pedophiles. It's just the world we live in. It's crazy. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. Anywho, yep, that's crazy. I don't know. Some of these fucking, sketches from court are funny as shit, though. Some of these sketches are funny as hell. Like, where's the one I saved? I saved a couple that I thought was funny. This shit right here. Kiki, I need more baby oil. That shit's funny as fuck. The fucking him smiling, looking at the video of him running through the hallway naked, beating the fuck out of Cassie. This shit's a trip, bro. It's funny, but it's not funny. I mean, it's not funny. The pictures are funny. But the reality of it is disgusting and terrible. But that's the world we live in. Maybe. I don't know. It sucks. But, keep being a good person. People out there that actually try to be good people. Try to be kind, loving people. You know? Honest people. Good people. Thank you for being here. You're all beautiful. You're all lovely, beautiful people. And you're smart. And you're funny. And you're talented. And I'm glad that y'all are here to be in this world. Just keep on keeping on. Keep your head up. You know. The world's a shitty, disgusting place. But with you guys in the world, it makes it better. The world is a better place because y'all are in it. So, thanks for watching the video. I hope you have a great day. Like and subscribe to my stuff. Like and subscribe to the other content creators that I watched. That's about it. Thank you guys. Love y'all. I'll see you later.